Let's get ready to feel lit up! Hello there, Star Stuffs. Welcome to Ash Creator Being's Lightning Round, where we are celebrating in interview form the most incredible creator, healer, lover leaders in the world. They have 15 minutes and 6 questions to give us their lightning strike of wisdom that is here to serve humanity for the highest good. So buckle up and come and learn and enjoy from Lightning Round. Welcome, friends, to Lightning Round, and I have our first most gorgeous guest today. This is Dr. Eva Brown. She is one of the most loving, safest humans I have ever encountered. She is a very much cosmically cool creator, healer, lover, leader. She's a licensed therapist and relationship coach, the creator of Sacred Partners, and she also has her own podcast and blog and platform. You can find it. It's a Sacred Partners podcast, chock full of incredible content. Whether you're in a relationship now or looking to be in a relationship, I can't say enough about the content that she creates, directly coming from over 20,000 hours of working with couples. She is a master. And she has affirmed and confirmed so many beautiful things to me in my own relationships. And she's one of the first people that really believed in me and the work that I did too. It was so incredible. So without further ado, I would love to welcome Dr. Eva Brown here today. And we'll start with the questions here in a second. Hi, Eva. How are you today?
Hello, my dear. Thank you so much for having me and such a wonderful welcome. And it's so nice to hear that, you felt like that I was the first person that really believed. I didn't realize that until we started having this conversation. And
Yeah.
I could just see your light and your love from a mile away, babe. So I know people can feel your energy and can feel the intention behind your words because you're also very precise and you're intentional about the words that you use. And I really appreciate that about you. And
Oh,
it says a
thank
lot
you.
about your depth also, like as a human being and what kind of person you are to be in relationship with. And so far, I've had a really great experience with you as well. So,
Oh, thank you, lovely. Well, I want the world to know about you and the work that you do because you are an actual living legacy of love on this planet. And so I would love for you to share with people. Here's our first question, gang.
okay,
This is our first episode, so we
let's
get
do
to
it.
set the tone here. So the first question is, in your beingness, what do people feel and experience when they are with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think first and foremost, they experience truth and authenticity. Like I am very much me and real and like what you see is what you get type of thing. I don't mince words. And I think that actually creates a very unique relationship because I think a lot of us are kind of all trying to figure out the fine line between people pleasing and wanting to be liked and wanting to be loved and wanting to be
Oof.
accepted.
Yes.
And I've done a lot of work around that for myself as a recovering people pleaser, morpher, martyr, sacrificing myself for everyone else and their mother. And so when I did internal family systems work, which is a big part of my work, and I started to kind of look at the family dynamics, I started to adjust myself, and I realized that the truth of myself is actually very direct. Um, like no holds barred type conversation. And my clients can experience that and they feel that too. They're like, all right, Dr. Eva, like I have clients that call me their OG therapist. They're like, you're my OG. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, you're going to
Yes.
tell me when my
Yes.
when my shit smells, and you're going to tell me when I'm doing great, and you're going to reflect it all.
Mm.
And so I think that's really cool. And it creates this experience of feeling loved and accepted and normalized, and lots of laughter and sense of humor and joy in all of my connections. That's number one for me.
I can affirm that to you, back
Yes.
to you 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. You have a tremendous capacity to hold that space of truth for other people, but very loving truth.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And
Yeah.
inside of that, they learn to free themselves
Yes.
inside of it. That's
Yeah.
that's the vibe.
I love that vibe. Yes, baby. Yes, baby. All right, friends. That was our first round. That was the first question. All right. Next question. What do you know in your bones that you are here to share as an offering to humanity, Dr. Eva Brown?
That's a very big question. And if I'm going to narrow it down for you, it's creating multi-generational, trauma-informed, very important key factor there, love legacies that stand the test of time for individuals, couples, and families that make it into my containers. Because that's ultimately what we're doing. We're doing the trauma work, we're doing the accountability consciousness work, we're doing the communication work, the intimacy work, the sacred sexuality work. But really, what we're creating is their love legacy. And I came up with the concept of love legacy. I don't even know, like maybe 9 months ago. I was just sitting around, thinking about what I do. And I was like, wait, what are we doing? And it came out in one of my sessions because I had never heard anyone talk about it like that. And so I was like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. And so I started to kind of curate this concept with my clients, and it's really landed the ship for them as opposed to, you know, in other words, we have communication, we have intimacy, we have sex, but what are we doing? We're creating their love legacy for themselves individually and then with each other. And I just feel that that's what I'm meant to do.
Oh, I love it. And it's so beautiful when you can get to that point where you just distilled your
Yes.
work
Yes.
in a way that is so accessible. And that is when I truly know, like, that's when you reach a level of true mastery with what it is that you're doing.
It takes time. It
Yeah.
takes real time. And a lot of times people don't realize how much time it actually takes, because I've been working with couples for, like you said, 15 years. So much time and energy has gone into it. But when you sit back and you observe your work, you're kind of like, okay, what am I doing here? Like, what are we doing? And then you're able to kind of create a container around it so that people can understand it and digest it better. And the love legacy concept is something that a lot of people can really get behind.
Yeah. Which actually, this is perfect. You're totally leading yourself into the next question.
Cool.
Okay. The next question is this. Can you give a practical example right now of how people can experience this love legacy that you are speaking about and speaking to?
Yeah. So the best way that I can describe it is that I have 5 stages of my work that my couples clients go through. And I call it the 5 stages to conscious relationship mapping, which is another distillation of my work that I was able to kind of wrap into something so people could understand and it's tangible. So what they're doing is they're going through the 5 stages. So the first stage is trauma awareness, and that's multi-generational trauma awareness, but not just trauma. It's also emotional awareness. It's emotional intelligence based off your family system. For example, a lot of times clients will come and they'll say, well, my parents did the best they can. And that's a justification. That's a very slippery slope, because if I can justify my parents doing the best they can, when the truth is that everyone can do better, everyone can do better, right?
Yep.
We have to be careful, because then we're setting ourselves up for not doing better and only doing the best we can, right? And so there's a little bit of a context there that I try to open up in those conversations in that first stage, to kind of move out of the justifications and the distortions that trauma and emotional family system dynamics and meshed family system dynamics, codependent family system dynamics breed. right?
Yes. Yep.
So once we get to the distortion and we get to the truth of this situation, in other words, then we can move into the other stages, which is accountability consciousness, conscious communication, emotional intimacy, and sacred sexuality. Now, inside all of those stages, what they experience is actually emotional sovereignty, growth,
Yes.
transformation,
Yes.
um, feeling validated. They're in their power more. They're not making excuses. They're making emotional and relational shifts. They're thinking differently. They're interacting with themselves and other people differently. That's like the best way that I can describe without going into an actual example of
Yes.
what it is that we're doing.
Oh, beautiful. Again, this is like gorgeous distillation of this work because you really have, I really feel like you've cracked a major formula and a code of really how do we
Yeah.
approach this very dense field of
Yeah.
stuff when we talk about relationships.
Yes.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
It can be
yeah,
very complicated, and making it simple in this way makes it so much more easy and tangible for people to digest and actually apply.
yes, yes.
Mhm.
All right.
Amen.
Amen. Okay. So, our next question. If
Okay.
you had to sum up in this here and now in your life's guiding mantra or a phrase or even just a word right now, what would it be and why?
Yeah. Well, I really can't take credit for this one. I have to give credit to one of my mentors. Her name is Melanie Ann Lair, and I like her. I really love her work, and I've taken a couple of her programs. And there's something that she taught me a couple of years ago. And of course, I've added my own things to it since then. But she said, live your life how you want to remember it in hindsight. And that really opened up a whole new way of thinking about my life.
Mm-hmm.
And so now, anytime I do anything that, I mean, like even my day, even when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, how do I want to remember this moment or this life in hindsight today? Well, I want to work out and I want to kiss my husband and I want to snuggle my puppy and I want to call my sister. And I make intentional decisions about how I want to live my day, and then I go do it, right? And then of course, like vacations, for example, like I was going on a vacation with, well, it's more like a family trip. It's not a vacation, let's be honest, right? So I went on a family trip with my family, and it was a fantastic time. We made some great memories, but I went into it with the intention of I want my nieces to feel loved. I want my nieces to feel special. I want my sister to feel special. And so I created little presents and little things and little notes. I wrote my sister, like, I'm like known in the family for writing long notes. So I wrote my sister like this really long love note,
Sweet.
and she's like, Eva, a love note? I'm like, uh-huh, you know what? You like them, because she's like, she's working on her defensive postures. You know what I mean? So I write her those notes and I have fun. So that's how I like to live my life.
Oh, I love that. That's so great. I love that reframe too, because so
Yeah.
often we think about what we have to do, what we have to produce, what we have to
Yes.
be during our day, as opposed to how do we want to remember it, which to me leads to like, how do we want to create our day? And you just
Yes.
nailed it. Yes, I love that. Oh, I
Yeah.
let that land very deep on me. That was great.
Good.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
take it too. Thanks to your mentor.
Absolutely. More the merrier.
Yes.
This
All right. Our
is
next
fun. I'm
question.
actually having fun.
Good. I feel like sometimes, like we both were talking about how much we love to like have long form
Oh
content,
my
and
God,
sometimes
totally.
it's like when you just get to the heart of things, you really
Yeah,
do just like you just get it out there, and it's like
exactly.
that's what people need to know. Like,
I
what's the
love
most
it.
important things? Yeah, and it's fun.
It
Okay,
is.
so all right, question 5. We're almost through this. It's crazy. Okay,
I know.
if you could give one piece of advice to those
Hmm.
listening right now to live a
Hmm.
better life, what would it be?
Well, I would say do the work and become aware of your inner child trances and your shadow sides, because the truth is that if you don't, your life is living in you're living in a distortion, whether it be a trigger or a trance of not feeling good enough, or not feeling worthy of love, or not feeling supported, or feeling like people don't care about you, or feeling like I'm the odd man out all the time. Like, whatever that narrative or a trance, it's a subconscious trance that originates when we're young, when we don't have the full, brain capacity to survive or have enough consciousness, because our brain doesn't develop until 25. So that's a long time.
Yeah.
That's like 25 years of living in your subconscious and suppressing all these things. So that's what I would say is the most important work that you can do for yourself, your marriage, and your children. If you don't do that work, some part of your life will be living in a distortion. So I think that's one of the most important things, if not the most important thing that I do with my clients in the work. And it doesn't have to be with me. It can be with any mentor that you choose, as long as you're doing the work. And I do recommend having another person that you're doing that work with, because we heal in relationship, even if that's a therapist, a coach, or a mentor. Reading a book alone is not the same. You'll get the information, but integrating it and having someone there to hold that space for that transformation and that integration will click in so much quicker than if you do it on your own.
1,000,000%. Yes.
So there you go.
I have 1,000 little tiny hands clapping that one.
I'm picturing 1,000 tiny hands. That was great.
Absolutely, to all of that. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Last question.
Okay.
All right. This one I think is an easy one. We've gotten through the big ones here, the ontological questions we've like squished into 15 minutes here. Where can people learn more about you and your specific offerings?
Yeah. So I have a quiz that people can take and I've created the quiz myself based off my experience. So the quiz is not just some random quiz. It's like very thought out, and it will help you understand where you are in your relationship based off of the questions that you answer. Okay. And what you would want to work on based on that particular part or aspect of the relationship dynamic that you're currently in. So you can do the quiz first. Next, I recommend getting involved in my blog, because my blog is a long form blog, and I send out a blog weekly, if not bi-weekly, to everyone in my community. And that's a great way for you to stay connected. And that's not on Instagram or Facebook or anything like that. It's to your email. And it is a service blog. It's not a sales blog. It's a service blog. And of course, at the end, I offer an opportunity for you guys to get involved in my membership program, my Sacred Partners community. And then, of course, you can work with me one-on-one. You guys have the contact. But my website is sacredlifepartners.com. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your light, your lightning strike to humanity. I feel like what you're doing is anchoring just true conscious evolution on the planet. I'm just going to be like totally straightforward about that. Amen. And so it is. So thank you all for being here on Lightning Strike. Please go check out the work of Dr. Eva Brown. And I have to mention her amazing husband, Paul. He's been in on this the whole time too. They work together sometimes, and I love watching their content together too. And blessings to you and to everyone that you touch in your life. Dr. Eva Brown, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Ash. I appreciate you. Mwah.
Mwah. Let's get ready to feel it up. Thank you so much for joining us here on Ash Creator Being's Lightning Round, where we are celebrating distilled wisdom from creator, healer, lover leaders all around the world who are serving humanity for the highest good. For more incredible content, practices, and offerings, check out ashcreatorbeing.com. distilled.com. And please go ahead, spread the good, share this episode, like it, review it, send us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. And may all of you feel the lightning strike in your heart of your soul's calling today and every day.